we're going to kick off with author David Robert Loblaw, and we're going to talk about Then I'll Be Famous.
Yes.
So the last time you were here, was it 3 years ago?
Exactly, yep.
And it was something David Grade 3, or David G. Grade 3.
Grade 3, yep. That was my first memoir about my growing up in Regina in the 1960s, Catholic background and all that. At St. Thomas, where access is right now. This used to be, you destroyed my school just so this place could be here. So this is my second book of 3.
Okay.
So this starts in 1974. So my teen years at Miller High School and cruising Albert Street and all the bizarre stuff that we did in the 70s. And the latter part is in the 80s, the fun 80s. Went to university, worked at CK Television, was a writer and all that. So the second half of the book is really fun because the 80s were fun. The first half in the 70s and the teen years, there's writing your teen memoirs are awful.
Really?
Yeah.
In the 70s, teens were...
Really?
What big events happened?
There were just all I guess there's some big events that happened. The big one that I talk about is for us teens in the 70s, the famous Kiss concert in 1977 at the brand new Agrodome. Wow. There must have been every teen in Saskatchewan at that thing. And that's the most fascinating thing, talking to so many people that were there, how there's thousands of us. We all have different perspective on the event and the electric. It was so exciting back then.
Yeah.
So those of us in the 70s, you can almost pinpoint certain big events in our lives, as opposed to now there's just thousands of things going on. Like we didn't have that much to do, and that was a big one.
Well, and you didn't know about everything else. Like we didn't have that digital connection to
we didn't know anything.
All around the world.
Yeah.
We had Regina.
Yeah. So that was exciting, and we were so excited because when Kiss came here, we thought Regina was a world-class city. Like we were so excited. Like this is the big time. We're going to open up the world. But yeah, it was fun.
So they're mostly, I think, probably just listening to you and all the fun things. Everything sounds really fun. But you kind of mentioned in, I think, the description a little bit about there were tragedies as well.
Yeah, that's what I like in my first book and the second book, because I want to put a lot of funny stories, but there's tragedy, because every family has at least one tragedy, and I describe my tragedy in here, and every person has bad times. So I read a lot of memoirs, and so many of them are either all funny or all so sad, like way too sad, and something you can't even finish them. So I want a mixture of sad and funny, because that's what life is. I mean, we have high points, we have bad points, and I like the memoirs that are more full that way.
And is it hard to write about that?
Oh, yeah, I think so, yeah. It's really tough because you have a certain narrative that you've been telling certain stories, but when you write a story, it changes. The story changes from what you've been saying verbally over decades.
Right.
And that's the most interesting part. Then you remember stuff, which is really weird, remembering 10 years after, thinking, oh, okay, that's how it was. And then when people read about it, that didn't happen.
I was just going to...
Yeah. We think our memories are like videotape, like a perfect recording.
Right.
It's like hodgepodge, and people have different ideas, and your own memories change. They're almost like little poems that keep changing all the time. And this one, I don't think I could have written this like 20 years ago, because I didn't really think about a lot of the stuff back then. And now it changes now. Yeah.
So you've launched your book. I mean, it's out there. It's a beautiful book. What has been the reaction?
Oh, here it is. Just great. This Kirby vacuum cleaners, for anyone who sold Kirby vacuum cleaners in the 70s, a really goofy story in here, yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. We had the book launch, and there's so many people coming up to stories about who grew up in teens in the 70s, and that's just like good stories, bad stories, and that's what I like. Yeah, and it's available at Penny University Bookstore on 13th Avenue, and always on Amazon as well.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, if you can't find a book in Regina, which number one, go to the bookstores. Yeah. Amazon will have it.
It's everywhere.
All right. Well, thank you, David, for coming and sharing your book, and then maybe I'll be famous one day too, when because I'm associated with you. No.
Exactly.
But thank you for coming on, and good luck with the third book.
Yep, it's going to be fun.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, that was David Robert Loblaw, the author of Then I'll Be Famous, and you can find that at Penny Bookstore or on Amazon if you can't make it out there. It sounds like a funny book, some tragedies, but that's what happens to life.